Hi boys and girls, this is Nurse Sarah, and today we are going to be talking about our spinal column. Now the spinal column is a part of our skeletal system, and I have got Mr. Bones here to kind of show you what a spinal column is as a part of our body. So I'm going to turn him around so you can see the back side. Our spinal column is important to our bodies. It helps support our body, it allows you to bend and twist, and protects the spinal cord, which is the gateway to our nervous system. Now our spinal column is made up of 31 bones stacked upon each other. You can see each of those here. It kind of has a little spiny part on the back. Those are all different vertebrae. There are 4 regions to our spinal column. We have up in the top here, we have the cervical region, which is our neck, and then it goes to the thoracic region, and then we get to the lower back is called the lumbar, and the very lowest part of our spinal column is the sacral. Now in between our column, in between each of these vertebrae, we have what's called an intervertebral disc. Now an intervertebral disc is something that is in between each of those. It helps provide cushioning and support and protects the spinal column. So let me turn him back around. You can see through the front side, the spinal column is a lot smoother. It doesn't have those bony prominences like it does on the back. So today we are going to make our own spinal column. And here I have a sample of what we're going to make. So what you need to make this little craft is you're going to need some egg crates, egg cartons, and you can cut each little pocket that holds the egg, cut them into individual egg carton pieces. Okay, so you see I've got all those cut out. The next thing you're going to need is some construction paper, and it doesn't matter what color you use. But get some construction paper and cut them into circles. These are going to represent our intervertebral discs that we'll put between our vertebrae. You also need some pipe cleaners, okay? Something that's got a little bit of stiffness to it that you can use to feed through your vertebra, okay? I have 2 of them here. My sample, I've only used 1. If you wanted to make your spinal column longer, you can use 2 and put them together. All right, so what you're going to want to do, now that you have your pieces cut apart, you want to put a hole in your carton here. So I just used a pen and poked a hole in there. You guys can kind of see how I did it. Now, if you need help with this, you can ask your parent to do that. So you're going to do a hole on one side and then directly on the other, poke another hole through that. Okay, so once you've gone through and done those on all of your pieces, you want to do the same thing with your pieces of paper, your circles. If you have a hole punch, you can put a hole punch right in the center. If not, you can just poke a hole right through that paper with your pen as well, okay? So we don't need that anymore, I'll get rid of it. Next thing we're going to do is take our pipe cleaner and we're going to start putting our spinal column together. So you're going to put it right through one hole, and if you see through here, I'm feeding it through the other side, okay? All the way through to the end. Then let's bend this off a little bit because we don't want it to pull through as we're doing the rest. So we have one of our vertebrae on there. Remember, we got to put these cushions, which is our intervertebral discs, through in between each of our vertebrae. Now, let's talk about the spinal cord. The spinal cord, this is what the spinal cord is representing. It is a bundle of nerve fibers that extend from the brain up here, all the way through our body. This spinal column protects that spinal cord. Now, the spinal cord sends messages through the different parts of our body. It tells us when we need to move, when we need to jump or run. It also, so it gets our muscles and our bones moving. It also sends messages for different sensations like pain. So if you fall down and you hurt your knee or your leg or you get a scrape on your hand, your spinal cord sends the messages to your brain, which then tells you to react and pull away because that caused some pain. So our spinal cord is very important to send those messages throughout our body. Very important and definitely needed. And the spinal column, which is the bony part, okay, that's what protects our spinal cord. All right, so let's finish this off here. Now remember, if you wanted to make it longer, you can take another pipe cleaner and you can wrap it around and make it longer. Just depends on how many of these pieces you have to put together. Once you've gotten everything put together, you can fold off on the top, and there you go. You have got your spinal cord with your intervertebral discs in between there, and your spinal cord is going through that spinal column. So just a fun little project you guys can do to kind of help remember our spinal column and what it does for us with its important purpose of keeping us nice and straight and supporting our body, helping us to move and be flexible. So speaking of being flexible, I know you guys have to be during this time of stay at home. So enjoy your time together with your family. Try to do new things, be creative, and make special stuff like this. Have a great time. Be safe, be healthy, and I'll see you another time.